Hello everyone. Hello everyone. I hope you are doing well. So today we'll be covering how we can use NotebookLM for learning new stuff. Now, NotebookLM has been my own go-to personal learning assistant, which I have used for the past 4 months. And so let's just dive right in. Over from over. Hi, my name is Yash Kumar, and I'm at the Learning and Development Department at the Cutting Edge School. And we have been conducting these air training sessions for the past few months, and we have worked with a lot of brands. So today's module will be AI for learning and study material. So, how many of you have watched this movie, Robot? Tell me, how many of you have watched this movie, Robot? Now, if you did, tell me how many of you remembered this scene? How many of you remember this scene where Chitty, the robot, he picks up a book and flips it around his head and then scans the entire book? Now, this is pretty cool, right? So, how many of you think that this would be pretty cool to have? Yes, I think so. A lot of people. But the thing is, we have already reached a point where we can scan a tons of documents in seconds. So let me show you a tool that will help you learn faster, understand better, and take better decisions, which is NotebookLM. Now, NotebookLM is is a free Google product. Now, and this has helped me learn better than any other AI tool. I have been using this personally for the past 4 months, and it has completely changed how I learn. So when you go to the homepage of NotebookLM, it says understand anything. Now, why does it say that? That's because in this information era, the lack of knowledge is not the major issue, but the major issue is making sense of that information because it's hard to drive conclusions out of raw information. And NotebookLM is the right tool to do that. So let's go and see what it looks like. We'll go to Notebook LM, and this is the first link we need to click on when we search for Notebook LM. And as you can see, we need to click on Try Notebook LM, and as soon as I do that, I will be greeted by this home screen. Now you might be wondering, like, what are these tiny little boxes? Now these are something which Google likes to call notebooks. Think of notebooks as your own personal books, which are in real life books, and the content inside the book is what you will put and what you'll learn from. So in order to create a new notebook, you need to click on Create New Notebook, and as soon as I do that, this pop-up window will appear which says upload sources. Now these sources are like the material inside the book, and we need to give our own material to Notebook LM in order to learn from it. So you can do that in multiple ways. You can upload from your device, you can paste the drive link, which is the Google Docs and Google Slides. You can also paste the website link and the YouTube link, a YouTube video link. You can also paste any copied text over here. Now, NotebookLM has a lot of file types that it supports. So you can upload almost any type of file type you have, like PDF, .txt, Markdown, audio, plus even video, right? So that's a very good feature to have. Then you'll see a source limit. Now, what is this source limit? Now, this source limit is something which is the limit of sources, the content you can upload on Notebook LM in one single notebook, right? For me, it's showing 300. On the free plan, it's 50 because I'm the because I'm on the paid plan. So let's close this window and just get a uh, quick overview of what the interface looks like. Now I'm on Notebook LM, and this notebook is divided into three sections. The first is on the left hand side is sources panel. Now this sources panel is where all the sources you upload on Notebook LM will appear. Now here you can see I have zero sources, so nothing is appearing right now. So you can add sources over here, you can remove and select which sources you want to select. We'll see that in a minute, like how that works. So moving on, we have this chat section in the middle. Now this is where the AI is, and as much as and this is where the AI is, and we can use this AI using this search option to ask questions to the AI for from our sources, right? So any question that we have around our sources, we can ask it from here. Then we have the studio section. Now this is the most sophisticated one because uh, what this essentially does is it takes information from different sources and combines it together into easy to digest output, right? And Notebook LM does that in six ways. The first is audio overview, which means it creates an AI podcast. Then we have the video overview, which means it creates an explainer video. Then we have the mind map, it generates a mind map. Then reports, it generates different kinds of reports which you can use. Then we have flashcards. Flashcards are I'll explain flutter flashcards in a bit. Then we have the quiz. So these are the main this was the main interface. You can even share this notebook with your friends and family and share your learnings. Now let's just upload a source and see what we can do with Notebook LM. Now I have already, let's say I want to learn about AI and management studies. But the problem is there are so many research papers written on this topic, and it's hard to choose which one to read. And since research papers are lengthy, then it's I need to be very careful with what I choose. So I have already selected this research paper over here. Now, this research paper I have selected on completely random basis, and I'll see that it is worth it or not right in front of you. Now I can click on upload sources. I've copied the link of that PDF. You can even download and upload it manually. I'll just click on the website and paste my link over here. And as soon as I click on insert, Notebook LM will analyze the PDF and recognize that as a source. And as you can see, it is almost done completing analyzing the PDF, and it has also given a name to my notebook based on my source. Right now, this is where all your sources will appear, and this is where you can ask the AI about your sources. And as soon as I click over here, and I can ask AI, which is Notebook LM, to summarize this source into in simple language, and also give me key main points and key takeaways. Now, as soon as I click on send, the Notebook LM will go to that source over there, and it will analyze the entire PDF, then generate a summary and give me a formatted version of it. Now, as you can see, it's done already done. It has given me a brief summary over here. What are the main points that were covered in this research paper, like growth and decline in output, geographical disparities, dominant research channels, and thematic evolutions. And it has also given me the key takeaways, like what are the main action points, what are the main call to actions that I can take from this research paper, right? So this is how you can ask notebook any question about your source you want, right? Now you might saying what and these numbers over here. Now what are these numbers? Now these numbers are called something known as citations. Citations are the referrals, are which refers back to uh, the content it took from resources. Like for example, if I click on this, it will refer me back where it took this answer from. Now why is this important? Because most AI tool, they hallucinate a lot, which means, let's say I give a question to a certain AI tool, and what it will do is it will take uh, let's say I give a question to a certain AI tool. What it will do is, and it does not know the answer. Does not have the reference I'm talking about, right? So what it'll do is it will browse the net or take data from what it has been trained on and generate a random answer. Whether that's correct or not, that doesn't matter. But it will generate an answer. But and that might not be good for non-creative people, because we need correct answer, right? So notebook lm this feature of notebook lm makes it stand out from the crowd, right? And you can be completely sure that your the data you are getting is accurate to the point, right? And another important thing that I would like to tell you is that Notebook LM has a guideline that it will never share, it will never train their model on user data, which means whatever I am generating over here, Notebook LM has no access to that. And since Notebook LM has no access to that, it can be erased as soon as I reload or if I leave this page. And so in order to prevent or in order to refer back to this document, let's say I want to refer back to this summary in the future, so what I'll do is I can just click on this save to note, and as soon as I click on this, it will generate a note over here from which I can refer to in the future, right? Now now that is done, you can ask any question you have over here, right? So now that is done, and I'll show you a very powerful feature inside notebook lm, which is the discover option over here. Now let's say I want to learn AI in management studies in detail, right? And since I have only one sources, and I don't want to go outside of notebook lm in order to search for different resources and see what are good and what are not, and then bring them inside notebook lm, upload it here, and then ask question, that's too time consuming. What I can do is click on this discover sources. I can just tell notebook lm what I want to learn about, and it will give me a list of sources, which it will go to the web and find me a list of sources that I can upload in on notebook lm in just one click. Now let me just show you. I want to learn about AI and management studies, and that's all I need to write. That's all. And as soon as I click on submit, let's see how many of you have joined. I don't think anyone has joined. And as you can see, Notebook LM is done finding sources, and it has got me 10 sources over here, and I can choose whatever source I want and import those files in just one single click. Now, why this is so powerful? Because I did not have to leave Notebook LM in order to find these sources. This would have taken me at least an hour to find these sources, right? Now I can ask Notebook LM any question about these sources. Let's say I want to ask I give me a definition of AI and management studies. That's all. And NotebookLM will go through all of these sources and then find me the best answer. And as you can see, the definition of management studies is here right in front of me, right? So let's see what all can we do. So we uploaded the sources over here. I can ask AI to summarize this. I can click on save to note in order to save this summary so that I can refer back to it in the future. Then we learned about the discover option. I can just type in here and learn about what sources are available on the Git. And I can click on import and get all the resources in just one single click. Now let's move on to another powerful feature of mind maps of NotebookLM, which is mind maps. Now, what are mind maps? A mind map is a way to visually organize information around a topic. It creates a hierarchical chart. Like for example, let's say we have a main topic, then it will create what are the subtopics inside it and what are the subtopic inside each subtopic, right? So in that way it will create a mind map. So I'll just show you how that works. So I'll come to this notebook over here which I've already created. Now as you can see over here, I have already generated a mind map. Now why? That's because I want just in order to save time. So in how to do mind map, I'll just select my source and click on mind map, and as soon as I do that, I will have a mind map over here. And as you can see, this is the mind map NotebookLM has created. You can see over here it has the main topic, then all the subtopics within that. I can expand each and everything over here further and further, like what are the main topics inside that, what's inside this, what's inside this, and we got a proper chart over here. As you can see, I can go deeper and deeper in any topic I want, right? So this is NotebookLM for you. I can even download this chart over here by just clicking on this download button. And as you can see, it gave me a proper chart which I can zoom into and learn from. Now, why is this powerful? Because sometimes it's really hard to make connection between different concepts, and using a mind map, it it is very easy for our brain to see the connection in front of our eyes. And as we can see the connection in front of our eyes, it is easier to remember. It is easier to recall. So this is the main tool. This is the main feature. But let's say I want to learn about operational tool, right? Now there are no subpoints after that. So what do I do now? It is very simple. I just need to click on this, and NotebookLM will tell its chat section to discuss what the sources say about operational tools in the large context of role in management. And within a few seconds, NotebookLM will go through this entire PDF and give me the entire answer about operational tool, and it's already done. Can you see how it can be transformative for our learning? Can you see how it can improve the way we learn, right? Type yes in the chat if you do. So let's say that's done. So let me show you what are the slides say. So you can click on the select your source, click on mind map, and you will have a proper mind map. So let's move on to takeaway number two, which is AI can convert complex materials into structured outlines in minutes, which means you can upload all kinds of material and find repeating patterns 10 times faster. It is so easy to find connections and patterns when we see visually how things are connected, right? So another so now the problem arises that these all things are so text heavy that many students, many kids, many teachers, many people I know have trouble learning from heavy text. They are like it's in this social media. It's so hard to focus on one thing, and to let and if that thing is a heavy long text, then it is even more difficult. So Notebook LM has a complete solution to that, which is audio overview. Now, what this audio overview does is it creates a AI podcast in which two AI hosts come together and they discuss the topic I want. Now, let's say I go on to Notebook LM over here. So, as you can see, this is the audio overview feature. And as soon as so in order to create a Notebook LM, I just need to select the source I want. I'll just show you how it's made. I can just select whatever source I want. Like for example, these are the sources I don't want. I want audio overview on these all sources which are selected, and I can just click on audio overview and it will start generating an podcast. Now, as you can see, I have already if you see over here, I've already generated a podcast because this takes a bit of time. It takes few minutes to generate. So in order to save time, I've already generated it, and I'll show you how it looks like. So as you can see, we have two AI hosts, like completely AI generated hosts, which are discussing on the topic I want, and I can learn from it. Like this is so useful. Whenever I have a test, I can just generate a podcast of all the materials that are coming, all the subjects that are coming on my test, and I can listen it on my way, listen it when I'm getting ready for my exams, right? This is so important. And so this is pretty useful if you ask me. So now what if I tell you that this audio overview isn't this podcast is not even the main feature of audio overview? What if I tell you I can join this conversation between those AI hosts? I can ask them question, I can give my points, and I can interact with them, and all that with just single click. I'll show you how that works. So as you can see, there's a button called interactive mode. Now, as soon as I click on this, the podcast window will expand, and when I play the audio, I can join this conversation by clicking on this join button. I want to ask, like, what are the main benefits of AI in management tools, and how is it helping teachers? And it will take us few seconds, but it will answer my question. Can you see how transformative it would be for learning, right? You can even download this podcast and save it for later use. So let's just close it and move on to the next feature of Notebook LM. Now, this was a pretty cool feature, but what if I tell you I have another cool feature like that, which is my personal favorite. I use that every time I come onto Notebook LM, I use that feature every single time because that's even powerful, right? So I just need uh, which is video overview. Now, what is video overview? Now, as soon as I click on video overview, it will generate an explainer video where an AI will explain to you with a detailed presentation, like what the topic is about. It will teach me how my topic I can learn from my topic. So, in order to generate an audio video overview, you just need to select whatever source you have over here and click on video overview. That's it. That's all you need to do. And as you can see, I have already generated a video podcast in order to save time because this takes a bit of time to generate. And as soon as I click, can you see how powerful that is? Can you see that every single thing in this video was AI generated? The voice, the slides, the text, the design, every single thing was generated by AI. Do you think this will transform learning? Do you think? Yes, I am getting a lot of yeses, which is pretty cool. So let's see what all we can do inside Notebook LM. We can even generate reports, which are different of different types. Like for example, I can create my own report style. I can create a briefing doc, which is a summary of the source, a study guide where I can use AI to test my knowledge on the material. Like for example, I have an exam on AI and management, then it will give me a proper pointer notes of AI and management, then give me different types of questions that I can practice for solidifying that learning. Then we have a blog post. It also generate a blog post from our source. So now these two features are a very new feature. Like yesterday only, Notebook LM has rolled them out, and as you can see over here, it has flashcards and quiz. Now these are extremely powerful. Let's say I have an exam, so I can use these tools. These are especially useful for any student who is studying and who has to give exams. As you can see, as soon as I clicked on this, it started generating. This will be done in a second. So let me show you what other things we can do with Notebook LM. So we just discussed how we can generate an overview, audio podcast. Now, what if I told you that we can even create podcasts on specific topics? Like for example, you upload a book on Notebook LM, then you can even specify like the exact topic you want the podcast on. Otherwise, it will generate the podcast on the entire book, right? So you need to click on this pen icon on the audio overview. Then this pop-up window will appear. Now you can generate different formats also over here. The first is deep dive. The deep dive, which is in-depth tutorial on how things happen, explanation on how things happen for your topic. Then we have the brief overview, which is like a complete summary, a short summary. Then we have the critique option. It gives feedback on your work. Then we have the debate option, in which two hosts they throw light on two different perspectives. You can even choose the language or the length to make of the podcast. Like you can make it shorter or longer. Then here is the section where you can specify the topic. Now, from this research, I have selected evolution in AI research. Right, this was the main topic inside Notebook LM in the inside that research paper. So just typed it in and select my language, and it gave me a rapid evolution of AI in management. Then we learned about video overview. We can click on this button, and we'll have our video overview. So you can summarize your documents, research papers. You can dive deeper by asking questions, and you can even create podcasts and videos on specific topics. Now, let's move on to some use cases. Like for example, you can create your own study resources over here, and as you can as you can see over here, I have uploaded few session recordings of mine, like this one, and ask AI to give me feedback on this. So I can copy this. So I can ask. I uploaded over here all the resources I gave, and then uploaded my session recording. Then I can give this prompt to Notebook LM in order to take feedback from it. Oh, sorry, to get detailed information from it. I can even generate uh, brief briefing docs over here, which I've already generated. As you can see over here, it has given me a proper roadmap and notes of the entire session. You can see it has given me a proper notes, proper detailed notes on the entire session, which I can share with my students now. Now let's see what are the others. Getting feedback on your work. Now this is the next use case. So yeah, you can even get feedback on your work. Now I have uploaded the same session recording over here, as you can see, and using the discover option, I have uploaded imported a lot of materials about AI agents, so that it can give context to where the good teachings, or what are the main content from which to give feedback on, right? So this is my one. This is the main things, and I can just ask Notebook LM to give feedback. Now I have a prompt ready for that, which is this one. I can just paste it over here, type my source name over here, like AI recordings, recordings of my recording session of AI agent. Subject is AI agents, and as soon as I click on enter, it will give me a proper feedback on what went well and what can be improved. So you can see over here what the prompt says. Refer to the full session recording I have uploaded, titled recording session of AI agents, which is this one, and also use other uploaded sources on AI agents. Based on these provide me a clear constructive feedback on my work, highlighting what was done well and what can be improved, and suggest actionable ways to strengthen the content and delivery. Keep the feedback structured, concise, and practical for immediate application. Now, as you can see, it has given me a proper table formatted way of what went well, areas for improvement, and actionable ways to strengthen content and delivery. How powerful is that? I can get feedback on anything, right? Now, another way I can get feedback and improve is through audio overview. I can just select all my sources, like for example, not all sources, but let's say I deselect everything. I select the main source. I click on this pen icon over here and click on this critique option. Now, as soon as they do that, it will go on to the critique mode, which will give me feedback on my work. And as soon as I hit on generate, it will give me a proper feedback podcast on what went well, what went wrong, and how can I improve, right? So it will take a bit of time, but you get the gist of it, right? So this was the main, as you can see over here, giving feedback. Click on the pen icon, then critique option, then generate, and it will give me a podcast on what the what I need to improve on. Notebook LM is not only available on the web but also on mobile phone. It has an iOS app and an Android app. Now you can scan this QR code to download the Android app and scan this QR code to download the iOS app. I've also compiled the free versus paid table for Notebook LM over here, which compares the free plan, what's included in the free plan, and what's included in the paid plan. Now, Notebook LM has just changed what's included, and this is now even included in the free plan, right? For those of you who are concerned about the privacy guidelines of Notebook LM, here is a QR code which you can scan and read the entire privacy document. Now, keep in mind, AI is not for decision making. Don't use AI for decision making. Use AI for getting information to improve your decisions. Like, it's so easy to get information because AI also make mistakes. Notebook, if I show you, Notebook LM is pretty accurate on what it gives, but still, Notebook LM says Notebook LM over here. Notebook LM can be inaccurate. Please double check its responses. So you need to be extra careful what AI gives you. So use that information to improve your decision, right? To get different perspectives. So let's move on to the last takeaway, which is use deep research for finding information and Notebook LM to make sense of it. Like you can use deep research from from Gemini to find the information and Notebook LM to making sense of that information, to understand it, which means you need to use tools in combination to get the maximum benefit of AI. Now, this is extremely powerful because one single tool is never powerful. Not even VO3, not even Imagen, Nano Banana, none of those tools are powerful on their own, right? But when used in a combination of each other, when used to create a certain output, then then we create something powerful. So let's revise what we learned today. AI can help you find signal within the noise using the deep research feature of Gemini. AI can break down complex topics and improve learning. We learned that using the storybook feature inside Gemini. AI can convert complex materials into structured outlines in minutes. That's we learned using the mind map option. Then we have you can use deep research for finding information and Notebook LM for making sense of that information. So this was it for today's session. I hope you liked it. So Thank you for joining in, and we'll see you next time. Hello, hello. Bye bye.